struggling to explain to my husband that the way we have been interacting lately has made me feel like the things that are on my plate is not appreciated. He makes about 2/3 of our income, and I make about 1/3 of our income. We have 2 children. I watch them from home while I work remotely.
Good God almighty. Hey, yo! What's up? This is John with Dr. John Delony's show. I'm so glad that you're with us. So I'm feeling over dramatic this morning. I'm sorry. Lots of caffeine. Hope you're doing well. Hey, if you want to be on the show, we talk to real people going through real challenges about your emotional health, your mental health, your kids, your schools, workplace, your relationships, whatever you got going on in your life. Here's the deal. All of us want love and belonging. We all want love and belonging. We all want an opportunity to have our voice heard. We want to matter, right? And we find ourselves stuck in those places where those things aren't happening. Man, we just find ourselves in these loops. If you're tired of being in the same loop, give me a buzz. 1-844-693-3291. It's 1-844-693-3291, or go to johndelony.com/ask. We are rocking on to the break of dawn. Let's go out to Columbia, South Carolina, and talk to Nikki. What's up, Nikki?
Hi, Dr. John. How are you?
Good. You?
I'm doing okay. I'm very interested to see what you have to say today.
Well, I am, as my wife would say, feeling a little bit much. So let's do it.
So I am struggling to explain to my husband that the way we have been interacting lately has made me feel like my role in the family is misunderstood. The things that are on my plate is misunderstood and not appreciated.
Okay. Tell me more.
So my husband works a job that he has to be in person, so he's not at home during the day.
Okay.
He makes about 2/3 of our income. I do also work full time. However, I am fully remote, so I am at home all day, and I make about 1/3 of our income. We have 2 children, 2 daughters, 2 under 2, and I watch them from home while I work remotely.
Good God almighty. You can't do that.
So I have a very flexible job. I've been in my job for a while now. I am very good at my job. And so I am able to, while working a little bit outside of the normal hours, to make up for any time that I couldn't do things during the day. I'm able to keep up. I don't miss deadlines. I'm not in any sort of like trouble at work or anything like that. So it is working for us. The cost of childcare is ridiculous.
Hold on, can I stop you? Can I interrupt you? Oh, it's so rude of me. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah,
it's not working for you.
It's not working for me?
No. Can I tell you how I know that?
Okay.
You started off by dividing up the income. What that means is your husband has a life, and you have a life. And to your life, you have added 2 children under the age of 2. And your life, which you measure in productivity and income, has less value than his life in the dynamic y'all have created in your home. And it's not working for you anymore. Just because you can hit deadlines doesn't mean you're not drowning. It means you're really, really strong, but you're getting tired. Is that fair?
I'm very tired.
Okay.
It's not just those things that make me tired. I think if I had just those 2 things on my plate, I would feel, because I'm very fulfilled as a mother, and I am not stay-at-home mom material in the sense that I can't have other things for my mind to be on. I enjoy that my work makes me do other things with my mind. But if it were just those things, I don't think I would be so tired. It's everything else.
Yeah. And so how have you tried to bring this up with your husband in the past?
So the main issue is, like, an example is he'll come home, he'll give me a kiss, run and go see the girls, wherever they may be. And one of my children is almost 2 years old. So she is a terror. I love her, but she's a terror. And a thing that she's been doing lately is pouring out her snacks and stomping all over them because it's fun. And so sometimes if that happens and I'm in the middle of a spreadsheet or I'm in the middle of making dinner, because I just like to have dinner done earlier in the day, I don't feel the need to go and clean that right away. It's not dangerous. It's not hurting anyone. We have a dog. She'll probably eat it. And so I just don't feel the need to do that. But when he comes home, it is immediate irritation. He's irritated that I have left that mess. And in the past, he has tried to, what I believe in a good way, try to tell me things that may, quote unquote, help me in my day, like habits that I can try and add to my day that may make my day easier. However, it comes across as ignorant and selfish because I feel like he's asking me to do things so he is not irritated when he comes home. And that's kind of like not my focus. I'm not.
So you're stuck in a dance. Can I interrupt your dance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may be completely out to lunch here. I am going to assume positive intent from both of you, okay? He's not abusive or mean or ugly in any other way. Is that fair?
No, he is outside of this issue we've been having. He is the most genuine, the most kind, and the most loving person I've ever met.
Perfect. So I think this is my naively optimistic opinion that most couples fall in the situation that you're in. Okay, and I choose to be optimistic here.
Okay.
I think he sees the chaos in the house. And he goes to love you the best way he knows how, which is with data and information. A solution. Because that's how often, and I'm over-gendering this, I know, that is how men talk to each other. Well, dude, just change the tire. Dude, just go get your oil changed. Or if you just moved the whatever.
Right.
It feels like to you that he's calling you dumb and lazy because you don't need a solution. You know it's there. What you need is to be seen and heard and to say, how can I love you right this second?
Yeah.
Or to not say anything, to see that stuff on the floor and not immediately think, oh God, she's overwhelmed. I'm going to show her where the life raft is. But to see that and go, I've got an opportunity to serve my family. I'm going to grab a vacuum.
Yeah.
And so both of you, I think, are trying to help. You're just speaking different languages.
The hardest part for me is I feel his irritation, whether it's body language or just how his vibe is coming off. And I get this pit in my stomach like I failed him.
That's right.
And then I get angry because I'm like, I haven't failed him. I'm taking care of our children and I'm working and I'm contributing to the household.
There you go.
I also do all of the shopping.
Here it comes. Let it rip. Let it all. What's all the stuff you do? Rattle it off.
I do all of everything with the kids, their doctor's appointments. I joined a board on our church to do a mom's morning out program so I could get a discounted rate because I'm on the board. So that way I could afford to have some sort of break during the week. Okay. And I don't need a pat on the back. I have made choices in life. I decided to become a wife. I decided to become a mother. I'm doing the things that come with that. I just don't need criticism.
Have you said that exact sentence?
I have. And
how is it met?
He wants to help me. And he says that every time he comes up with a solution and I try to explain to him why it doesn't work the way he thinks it will, implementation just doesn't happen how he thinks it will, he says I just get defensive. And then I get defensive.
Do you?
And then we fight.
Do you get defensive?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I don't know what else to do because I feel like I have to defend what I'm doing all day to make him see that it's not what he thinks it is.
I'm sorry. I just see two people who love each other trying to do the best they can, and they haven't made peace with the fact that every single aspect of their life is different now. And so
have you heard people say marriage is 50-50? I hear people say that all the time.
That's the stupidest thing.
That.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's total stupid, dumb nonsense.
I used to think that it was if one day a partner's giving 20% and the other one's giving 80%, but I have come to realize that sometimes you're giving 20 and the other person's getting 20 and the rest of it is just not happening. And I don't think that my husband shares that perspective. I think he thinks that we need to always be like fully productive, fully efficient, at full capacity. And sometimes I think it's okay for those things not to happen. I think it's okay if our children are safe and fed and feel loved, that the dishes just get done the next day.
Well,
And Sandy doesn't feel that way.
Let me rephrase. Let me add a different perspective. Sometimes you gave 100, and the dishes would have been 105.
Yeah.
I don't think you're giving 20 and he's giving 20, or you're giving 20 and he's giving 100. I think you gave 100. And that's where we got. And there's times when, now maybe you got the flu and you can only give 25. And as a husband, I'm going to give 175. That means something else has to give.
Right.
And that's part of life. I'm going to skip my workouts and skip my reading and skip my guitar playing and skip my whatever, because that's what it takes, and vice versa, right? When I'm in the middle of writing a book, my wife knows she's carrying more load for this particular season. We've talked it through. But y'all are the dishes, the Cheerios, those are a proxy war. And the proxy is, I miss my old life. The proxy is, I want everything the way I want it all right now. And neither of you have metabolized the fact that it's not reality.
I don't feel like I miss my old life, but I think he misses his.
That's fair. Often men don't understand how much their life has changed. And I'm going to just speak for me. I didn't know because I didn't know. Nobody let me babysit when I was in middle school or high school. I was never around little kids. And whatever I Googled was just so much. I even went to parenting classes. I didn't know what screaming baby meant. I didn't know how to comfort a kid. I knew how to fold a diaper. I went to that class, but I didn't know kids crapped 117 times a day. I didn't know any of this stuff. I knew that babies needed to eat every 2 hours. I didn't know that the clock started the moment they started eating. I thought it was when they got done. I didn't know any of that stuff. And it became a source of frustration because my wife knew all these things, and it was frustrating for her to have to tell me all this stuff. I didn't know. And
I feel like I want him to know that I'm a completely different person.
Yes.
In the same body.
That's where the conversation has to be. Everything in our marriage as we knew it is over now. What do we want to be true moving forward? What do we want to be true moving forward?
I just want us to be a team. We've always been one, and I want our kids to grow up and see us be a team. I want my daughters to know that they can be strong and that they can do the things they love, and they don't have to sacrifice just to be a mom. Like, I want them to grow up and know that.
Hold on, that's not true. It's not true. There is sacrifices when you become a mom.
That is true.
There's choices.
You don't have to sacrifice everything to be a mom.
Not everything, but there are sacrifices to be made. And some of the sacrifices might be, my husband has a dream that when he walks home, the house feels a certain way. But it's not going to when we have 2 kids, 2 years and younger. It's just not. Unless he wants to work extra hours and hire someone to come clean the house.
Yeah.
Or if he wants to come home and pick up a vacuum and spend 15 minutes when he walks in the door. Great. But a lot of that is, okay, our marriage as we knew it is over. We've always been a team. The way we're trying to be a team is really us trying to go back to driving the minivan. The minivan wrecked. Minivan's over. Actually, it didn't wreck. It just ran out of gas. We planned our life to be different. We just didn't understand how different it was all going to be.
Yeah.
And so here's I'm going to give you the exercise that whenever I do marriage stuff all over the country in person, or whenever, like, this is what shifted it in my house. Okay?
Okay.
The exercise my wife and I did was, how do you want this house to feel like when you walk in the door? And then once I said out loud and she said out loud, in fact, we wrote it down, here's what I want this house to feel like. Then we just reverse engineered it. Well, then here's what must be true. And I had to make some significant changes. And my wife had to make some significant changes. But that was the exercise of us staying on the same team. And by traffic, and I don't like to do this very often, but by trafficking and feeling, how do you want this house to feel? That kept me out of my charts and graph solutions mode.
Okay.
But my guess is your husband just knows how to provide solutions because that's what his job pays him for.
He's very analytical.
Yeah. And that provides a chunk of the roof under which y'all both are building a home. And it's hard for people, especially for men, when they go to work and they get celebrated and paid for a thing and they go home. I had a conversation with my son last night. Hey, people from all over the country pay me a ton of money to come sit down and ask questions about relationships and stuff. How come you won't ask me? Like, what world have I created? And he's like, well, and his explanation was actually really good and thoughtful and profound. But that's not what I need you for, Dad. And he was right. And so the thing I do at work isn't the thing that my family needs sometimes. And that's okay.
I think that would have a very profound impact on him if I said it like that.
Okay. But I think the exercise and the planning and the dreaming can be a blast. But you have to get past the defensiveness. He gets defensive, and then you get defensive, and then both of y'all build walls, and all you can do is just throw grenades over each other's walls. Something about, okay, what we had was amazing. We used to make out all the time, used to make spreadsheets, and I would work, and I would be on volunteer. It was just awesome. We did whatever we wanted to. And in the last 24 months, the life as we knew it's over now. Now what? And I don't need your spreadsheets. I just need you. I don't need your analytics and your plans and your extreme ownership. I don't need that. I need you to pick up a vacuum. After the feelings conversation, I'll tell you an exercise my wife and I do every day of our lives is to say, how can I love you today? And what does your picture of today look like? Not, hey, what do you got going on tonight? We talk past each other when we do that. What's your picture of today look like? Let's be very specific about what today's going to look like. Oh, okay, cool. I can make that happen. If he's driving home knowing I had a crazy day at work, I'm going to pull into the driveway. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hug my wife, give her a kiss, and I'm going to grab I'm going to grab a sponge, clean the dishes up real fast. He can do that. He can do that all day long. And then he gets to choose if he wants to be a whiny baby, resentful, or choose to be like, yeah, that's right. Didn't think this is how I'd be helping my family, but in this season, this is how I'm helping my family. That's awesome. I get to do this. Other men went to war for centuries, and I get to do the dishes right when I get home. That's awesome. And then go about it today. Man, just knowing that, though, is so big. Having that conversation. Thank you for the call. I just know you're not crazy, and every couple I know goes through this. The couples that not only survive, but thrive on the other side of this, they have a celebration for what was, and then they say, okay, let's build something new. What does that look like? And often the things that worked in the old life don't work so well in this new life. Great. And everybody gives up something when you have 2 kids in 2 years and you both want to work full time, and everybody gives up something. Just negotiating, what are we giving up? And for how long? You're awesome, Nikki. We'll be right back. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. All right, news flash, I'm a pretty big nerd, but y'all knew that. Before I became a YouTuber, I spent most of my adult life in a classroom, either as a student or a professor, because I actually love learning. And I've recently picked back up the guitar in a serious way, and I'm even rereading the books that originally inspired me during graduate school. I want you to ask yourself, what are some things you like learning about? Cars, history, conspiracy theories? Whatever it is, chances are you didn't answer that you like learning about you. So many of us spend so much time worrying and caring about everyone and everything else, learning about all these different things, and we never stop to learn about ourselves. I want to challenge you to become curious about yourself, your reactions, your opinions, and why you feel the way you do sometimes. Therapy is an amazing place to learn more about yourself. And if you're considering therapy, call my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy, and you can talk with your therapist anywhere, so it's convenient for about any schedule. Just fill out a brief online survey, and you'll be matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, and it doesn't cost any extra money. This year, let's be curious about ourselves. Let's commit to learning more about us. Visit betterhelp.com/Delony to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Delony. All right, if you've ever listened to this show, you know I cannot stand the thought that every move, every keystroke, everywhere you and I have ever been, probably every thought we've ever had is being tracked. And that's why I'm thrilled that Delete Me is now joining forces with the Dr. John Delony Show to scour the internet to remove your and my private information from hundreds of data broker websites. Personally, I use Delete Me, and they have been serving concerned folks like me for over a decade. Here's what Delete Me removes. They remove data such as name, age, address, marital status, past addresses, relatives, occupations, social media accounts, property values, photos, and email addresses. And let's be honest, if I tried to remove all this myself, it would take 1,000 years. Delete Me gives me the one thing that all of this so-called online convenience never has, and that's peace. Individual Delete Me plans start as low as $9 a month, helping to protect you from the risks of unwanted exposure and online scams, spam, and thieves. Go to joindeleteme.com/Delony today for 20% off. That's join, JOIN, deleteme.com/Delony. All right, let's go out to my old stomping grounds, Wichita Falls, Texas, and talk to Misty. Hey, Misty, what is up?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alive.
Hey, that's better than the alternative.
Right?
And you sound like Wichita Falls. How long have you lived there?
I'm born and raised here.
It does not surprise me. I see Kelly nodding. You sound like Wichita Falls. Good on you. Okay, so what's up?
Oh, I just was wondering if you could help me with how long a relationship can continue when you live separate lives.
I was gonna be mean. Can I be mean?
Absolutely.
That's the most passive aggressive question I've been asked in a long time. Like what do you actually mean?
We have separate lives, and it seems as if our relationship is kind of the recreation part. He does his thing, I do mine. He's career oriented. I've got multiple things going on, and I don't know. It just seems like at the end of the day, it's almost like a meet and greet kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It's like we're trauma bonded, so we can't seem to get around that. And I think that we trigger each other's issues, but at the same time, we're so codependent on just the safety net of knowing that they're at home. And that's basically what our relationship has come to be.
You're on social media a lot, aren't you?
No, I actually do not do social media at all.
I'm playing. No, you use all the right words. All the buzzwords these days. So you have a relationship. You're in one.
Correct.
And it's working exactly as y'all have designed it. The question is, do we want to have a different kind of relationship? Does that make sense? You have one, and y'all are roommates. It sounds like y'all hook up every once in a while, and it sounds like you like the pacifier and blankie effect of there's always going to be a warm body when I get there. And so you'll have a relationship. The choice is, do we want to build and do something different? And it doesn't have to be guided by a trauma bond. It doesn't have to be guided by codependency. It can be guided by, here's what we are choosing our relationship to be like. And it takes both of you to make that choice.
Makes sense. To complicate things, we met when we were 12, and we also have children together and 2 teenagers.
How does that complicate it?
Because I've got his son and my daughter and then our daughter together. And since the beginning, we've been together for over 12 years. He's kind of kept us separate. Like, he was living with me, but when he got his son, who was 5 at the time, he kept us separated. And now that our daughter is almost 10 that we have together, now he's suddenly wanting to incorporate the family thing when he's trained us all to keep each other separate.
Stop with that. Stop with that, Misty. He hasn't trained y'all. He made a bad choice. Or he thought he could just separate his life and have this life and then that life and that life, and then he realized that's not working. I want to bring this stuff together. It's going to be uncomfortable for everybody, but you're not a Pavlovian dog. I mean, you're a grown up, and so he's now saying, "Hey, I want to have everybody together. You get to make a choice. I don't want that. I refuse to have that. In fact, I'd rather not have a relationship with you than have that." I'm trying to give you your ownership back. And you seem to have outsourced it to, well, we've known each other for a long time. Well, he's got another kid by another kid. Well, he's wanted to try to keep everything separate, and that's not work. Like, kind of like the old quote, like, it's not that I just learned 10,000 ways how to not make a light bulb. Okay, well, y'all have learned a lot of ways to not do this. Now y'all can choose something different. But you're in the driver's seat.
I just don't feel like I'm in the driver's seat. Sometimes I feel like I'm like one of his kids, like, oh, I did the dishes. Can we go to dinner? Or, oh, I did. Like, I feel like I'm constantly like performing for, I guess, attention.
Okay.
Or for, I guess, my own insecurities.
There we go.
Recognition or reassurance
Yeah. Oh, take full ownership. He's not physically or emotionally abusive, is he?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, not physically.
Okay. So let me ask you, what do you get out of it? Like, you're seeking happiness or safety or peace, not peace, but you're seeking some way. And it sounds like you've been seeking it by trying to perform, trying to be reassured. What does your body get from it?
Stress.
Okay. So can we agree it's not working?
Absolutely.
Okay. Close your eyes for me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want this, like, imagine he walks in from being at work and you've got, 3 kids at home?
Well, I've got 2 at home full time.
Okay. 2 at home full time. Do you work full time?
Yes, but I work from home, but I also homeschool the little one.
Good God Almighty. Okay. So again, making choices. We're creating a very chaotic life for ourselves. And yes, I get wanting to homeschool. And yes, there are some financial realities to how much money we do or don't have. And if you're a full-time homeschooler of young kids, then you are not being fully present with your employer. That will end at some point.
Well, I'm an author, so I write at my own pace.
Okay. Is that a job? Are you making money?
Yes, I'm published.
That's not what I asked you. I know tons of published authors. I think the average book that's sold in the United States sells less than 12 copies or something like that. I mean, some insanely low number. Do you contribute to the bills on a weekly or monthly basis?
Yes.
Okay. So however you set it up, he walks in the door after being at work. How do you want that house to feel? Give me some words.
Safe, comfortable.
Okay. Get underneath comfortable and get underneath safe. Those are too broad. Be really specific. What does safe look like? What does it feel like? Here's an example.
No longer walking on eggshells, no longer fearing that abandonment, no longer feeling like I'm being graded based on the day that I had when he walks home or walks in the door.
All of these things you just outsourced it all. I'm asking you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you see where I'm headed here. He walks in the door and he sees me and he just smiles. I can see it in his eyes. He's got big eye crinkles. And I'm in the middle of doing whatever it is I'm doing, and I put up a finger to say, hold on. And I finish what I'm doing, and he comes over, and we just hug. And I feel his shoulders drop because I'm his safe place, and my shoulders drop, and the kids are barking and hollering, and we don't even care. And then I see him pick up both of the kids and makes weird noises or makes fart noises or whatever he does. I don't know what he does. And then he puts his forehead onto your forehead and he says, my God, I missed you today. How can I love you right this minute? And you say, well, first, pick up your shoes. You always leave your shoes. And he laughs and goes, oh, gosh, I forgot. I'll get my shoes. I'm going to go change. That's safety. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be that specific in your head. Because right now you're saying, well, if he doesn't do this and he doesn't do this, that's not helpful. I want you to decide, I'm not walking on eggshells in my house anymore. So what does that actually look like? That means that if I'm homeschooling kids and I'm working, I'm trying to produce 10 pages of writing every day, and I'm trying to produce little minds, that I'm going to sit down and say, hey, honey, every time you walk home, I feel like I'm getting graded, and I feel like I'm less than, and I want to be a teammate here. Can we have that conversation? That's different than, well, if you walk in and you would quit. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I just feel like I am like an inconvenience, or I'm like an obligation. I sometimes feel like.
Has he told you that, or is that a story you're telling yourself?
His actions have basically said those things to me over the years.
Give me an example of an action.
I was in a good mood today until this, or, well, if it wasn't for this or that, like he always throws things from my past or our past problems, like in my face. And it's like he can't forgive or forget those things. And I'm actually a cancer survivor. That's how my 2020 started. And ever since then, I just feel like that he kind of resents and blames me that we had to go through that, even though it's not like I did it on purpose.
I mean, if he's truly saying, well, if it wasn't for your stupid cancer, we'd have this much money. Then
well, it's not the money. It's the I guess it's almost like he's checked out because he's worried that it's almost like he's already grieved and lost me. And now I'm just stuck here like, oh, great, she didn't die.
That's a story you're making up. Yes, he probably did peer over the edge and imagine his life with you gone, and he can't breathe. He's known you since he was 12. And he probably very obtusely has no idea how to sit down in front of his wife and say, I'm so scared I almost lost you. It's not an excuse, it's just reality. And then you've taken that, his inability to do that, and run with it. Oh, I'm just this. Oh, I'm just this. Oh, I want to encourage you, stop being a victim in your own home. If he says, well, I was having a great day until you did this, you can smile at him and say, I'm so sorry you're choosing to be in a bad mood. Because he's making a choice.
Right. I always tell him if I have the power to control his mood, I would put him in a good mood more often.
There you go. And then you go do the next right thing. But I would love what it would look like to say, hey, I almost died. We survived. We've had 2 kids. You've got a kid. I got a kid. We've got a 3rd kid. We've got all the stuff I'm writing. I'm trying to. I want to rebuild a whole new marriage. Would you be in? One where you can't wait to get home, and I can't wait to have you home. And one where we both collapse in bed, exhausted at the end of the day because we both went all in. Would you be in for that? And if he looks at you and says, I ain't doing that, then y'all have got deeper challenges that y'all need to get to. And if he looks at you and says, I don't know what that even means. If you tell him, I want to create a world where you can't wait to come home because I'm your safe place. And I want you I want to feel like I belong in my own house. I want to feel like I've got value and worth and purpose here. And I'm struggling with that right now. You're not blaming. You're not criticizing him. You're owning how your body feels. Could he play a role in that? Sure. But it's all about taking ownership. Missy, I'm going to send you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life. I want you two to go through that book together. Go through it together and say, look, we can create this. We can create this home. Or we can just choose to fight and nag and complain and separate and all. We can just keep doing that. As you put, live separate lives. But y'all have a relationship. The choice is, do we want to build a new one? Do we want to build something totally different? We get to do that. Or we're just going to keep doing this one until we beat all the life out of it and we make choices to move on. I absolutely, with all my heart, believe y'all can build something new if you want to. It's going to take both of you, and it's going to take no more blaming, no more criticizing. It's going to take constructive support and negotiation and care moving forward. I believe you can do it. Hang on the line, Misty. We'll get you hooked up. We'll be right back. All right, if you know me and you've ever seen me, you know that I basically wear the same thing every day. I'm either wearing a black t-shirt or I'm wearing a shirt from Poncho, the best performance shirts for men on planet Earth. Poncho shirts are lightweight, breathable, and incredibly durable. You can't destroy them. I've tried. Their shirts dry quickly. They have slim and regular fits for different body types, and Poncho shirts are flexible so they move with you, not against you. Also, Poncho has super soft denims and flannels, and its fall is coming up, so they are perfect for that cold weather. Head over to ponchooutdoors.com and try them out for yourselves. Enter code Delony at checkout to get a free t-shirt or a hat with any purchase of a button-down shirt. That's ponchooutdoors.com, promo code Delony. The budgeting and spending app that I love and I personally use is EveryDollar, and it's the greatest budgeting and planning app on planet Earth. Almost nothing stresses out a marriage like money issues. Couples fight about how to spend, how to save, the cost of everything, which has gotten out of control, the lack of discipline, everything. And if you're single, trying to figure out how to even exist in the modern era of insane rent prices, food and fuel costs, car costs, and more is a nightmare. If you're ready to get serious about getting your money under control, I want you to try out EveryDollar. It will help you get control of your money, help you create a plan for paying off debt, saving for things that matter, and it will even help figuring out areas where you need to earn more if you want to accomplish your goals. Go to everydollar.com/Delony right now, and you can try out EveryDollar for 30 days for free. That's everydollar.com/Delony, or go to the App Store and download EveryDollar and use promo code Delony. Get control of your money with EveryDollar. All right, we're back. Kelly, bring some joy, something. This is a tough show.
Yes, it was. So this is a cool crap that happened.
All right.
Because we need that. So this is from Sierra. She says, my 7-year-old gets fixated on buying things, and his latest obsession is the finger skateboards. Those are really cool, by the way. I don't know why.
Did you know no one in the history of the English language has ever uttered that sentence?
I know, but there's something, my son
really
had a couple
cool.
a long time ago, and there's something kind of addictive about them. Anyway, he really wanted to buy a ramp/skate park. I told him that he could when he had enough money. The next morning, magically, he had enough money.
Ayo.
He said that he had saved it from doing jobs. I typically pay my child through Apple Pay on his watch, so that answer seemed suspicious.
Why does your 7-year-old have an Apple Watch?
Okay, let's focus. This is cool crap. We're focusing on the good. Back here. Come with me.
Jeez.
I told him that I didn't fully believe him, but I didn't have any evidence to prove that he was lying. Then I kind of guilt tripped him by using the 10 Commandments and saying that God will know the truth and to please not value this toy over relationship with...
Please get to the good stuff.
I'm getting there.
Okay. At the end, does she stop threatening him with the love of the Lord and take his Apple Watch away? Okay.
You've ruined this.
I've ruined this.
Stop.
All right, keep going.
All right. Long story short, I grabbed his face with both my hands and looked him in his eyes and said, things will always go well for you when you tell the truth. He started crying.
That's not true either. Okay, keep going.
I think we need to start this over.
I don't think so. Keep going.
No, I do.
Keep going. It's great.
He started crying and told me that he'd only had $5 and he took the rest from his brother's closet. He made it right, and we helped him earn the rest of the money. I've learned that holding on to my children's faces has been the greatest blessing that you could have given me. I always tear up, and I feel it deep inside my soul as you're healing me, as well as when you tell husbands to grab their wives' faces and say, I love you, I'm not leaving, I'm sorry, whatever the thing is. Thank you for always breaking it down to the smallest detail when giving people practical next steps. Keep being awesome, Kelly. You're doing a great job. Oh, and you too, John.
You just added that, Kelly. Great. I'm glad that we're making a positive contribution in the world. I am. And on behalf of future mental health practitioners of America, I appreciate parents who threaten their kids with God, because that assures like a length, like a future pool of people who are going to need counseling. Hey,
Sierra, I am so sorry.
Sarah, I'm messing with you.
Great.
I mess with you. This is great. Fantastic. I'm really proud of you that stopped. Hey, here's the meta here. We tried ignoring, we tried threatening, and then we chose connection. And connection was where we found the exhale. And you freed your son to say, I made a bad choice. Do you still love me? And you said, yeah, I do. We're going to go make this right. There's consequences. We're going to go make it right. That was awesome. Thanks for letting me clown a little bit. Still processing today's show. That was a little bit not nice. And Sierra, take away the Apple Watch. I believe in you. Love you guys. Bye.